So here we are now in a live week. Here we are today, whether you're watching this live or the replay. Please do comment, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I've got some additional content to add, really just kind of to add maybe a new dimension to what we covered last week. The video last week was on setting intentions for the new year, and I gave some examples and some description of the difference of goals versus intentions. And so I certainly won't repeat myself here. Please feel free to go back and watch a replay of the video from last week if you want more on that. But what I decided I wanted to go a little more into this week was giving some examples perhaps of how some clients have had this come up in ways where it really makes a difference to be clear on the intentions and why it makes a difference to be really super clear on your intentions as you're setting out toward any goals. Because when we get just focused on the goal, sometimes we get so task oriented. We're so like head down, hunkered down, just pushing through, trying to make it happen, that sometimes we're completely losing sight of why we really wanted the goal in the first place and what we really wanted to create with the goal. So the first question number one to ask yourself with anything that you're setting out to do, any goal or objective, or, like as you're setting out for the new year, the things you're looking to accomplish and create, is to ask yourself, why do you want what you want? Why is it that you want what you want? What's the why behind the why behind the why, and why you're doing the thing you're doing? So, just for an example, I have one client who came to me like very clear. She wanted to be making $100,000 a month. That was her goal. And she wanted to be having time with her kids, with her husband. She wanted to be traveling. She wants to be doing all kinds of things. And this is absolutely doable. This is someone who's been extremely successful with a prior business, absolute go-getter, like knows how to get things done. This is a completely possible achievement for her to make. But the first thing we started really looking at is, okay, why do you really want that? Like, what does $100,000 a month mean to you? What are you really trying to accomplish with that? And a lot of it for her came to having financial independence and financial freedom. There were, financial goals that she had for her family to be able to achieve. She wanted to feel that she could contribute fully and completely and naturally and easily to her family overall, to be a contributor in the family, but also to make sure that her kids are fully provided for and taken care of for many years to come. But the thing is, as we got into it, as we talked about different ways for that to work, it was like crystal clear that, okay, if that means working like 80 hours a week, that's off the table. Like something's going to need to change there. Either maybe we need to change the goal, or maybe we need to change how we're approaching achieving the goal, the method, the pathway to the goal, or maybe we need to achieve, what the expectations are here along the way, or alter what the expectations are along the way. So her intention to be able to make this kind of money easily, freely, while being able to still enjoy life along the way, really became critical with question number 2 that we're going to get to in just a minute. But that was just one example. So why do you really want what you want? That's a big thing on your goals, as well as getting down to like the heart of what's the intention? What is it really about? So that was number 1. Why do you really want what you want? Number 2 is, are your goals aligned with why you want it? Are your goals aligned with your intention? So, you may at times need to reevaluate your goals. I had one client who was doing some amazing consulting work. Her business is consulting, and she was doing some amazing consulting work. And one of her clients, who's a startup, is like practically begging her right now to be CEO of his new company. And she's like, I don't want to be CEO of his company. I want to continue growing my company, and I want to keep doing these things I'm doing with multiple other businesses. But there's a lot that's really appealing to her about this. And so she's feeling a little pulled between, I really want to do it because of X, Y, and Z reasons. And yet, like being CEO, the way we all think of being CEO for a major corporation, is not fitting with what her intention is either. And so really look at, sometimes we need to reevaluate the goals. So maybe for her, it's about not taking the CEO position. We've certainly talked about that as a possibility. Maybe for her, it's about redefining what that CEO position looks like. So, being clear about finding a way of doing things, finding a pathway to take to the goals that fit with the intention along the way. So again, this is a client who, a lot of my clients, this is what I want from my life. life, and I tend to magnetize people that want the same thing for their life. This is another client who family is very important to her, time with her young children, wanting to really be there, be present, really be able to savor life, enjoy the journey along the way while she's growing this amazing, successful business. And so looking at, okay, is this goal that I'm setting out for, this thing that I'm pursuing, is it aligned with the intention? And if it's not, it might mean you need to shift what the goal is. And if it is aligned with the intention, awesome. Sometimes though, we also may need to just look at like different ways to approach it. So number one was, why do you want what you want? Number two is what you want aligned with the reason why you want it. And so now number three, as you're moving forward and setting your goals, setting your intentions, setting out to take action through the year, a lot of times things will come up along the way. It's not just about the actions you take. It's also about who you are, who you're being in the state of taking those actions, while you're taking those actions, as you're taking those actions, and also who will you be when faced with challenges, when faced with obstacles along the way. So you absolutely have to take action. There's action involved, things you need to do to get to the place where you want to be. But what a lot of us tend to forget, especially a lot of high achievers tend to forget along the way as we're going and we're plowing forward and we're like, hell yeah, I got this, I'm nailing this. Sometimes what we're forgetting is who we're being aligned with our intention along the way. And so just checking in on my notes here. So this is, who do I need to be, or who do I want to be? Who do I aspire to be? It all is, that gives us our moment by moment guide, our moment by moment check-in along the way to let us know how we're doing, really, to let us know if we're aligned with that. So having that intention, like, let me I'll continue on one of these same examples here for one of these clients that's very family focused, wants time being present, connected there with and for her children, while still growing this big business. Is, okay, if she's like sitting at her desk, plugging away on the computer, doing what she's doing for her business, and meanwhile the kids are like, Mommy, what are we having for dinner? Not that I would know anything about this myself. This is actually spoken from a personal example I've had more than once, where I'm so focused on what I'm doing toward my business, toward growing my business, that I'm kind of losing connection with being connected, being there, sitting down, having dinner with my kids, checking in on how their day was, things like that. And so if it's just like, okay, here's cereal for dinner and Mommy's got to get back to work, it's not quite aligned the same way. And so it's that aspect of really knowing who you want to be with this. Do you want to be connected? Do you want to be independent? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be powerful? Do you want to be fun? Oh my God, fun, right? Do you want to be fun? Do you want to be playful? Do you want to be engaged? Do you want to, these are just a bunch of words that are coming to mind that I'm throwing out there right now, but think and look for you on, who do you want to be in the process that's aligned with this ultimate intention? So being a present, connected, loving parent and partner and spouse along the way, you want to make sure that that's feeding into everything you're doing, every goal you're setting, every action you're taking, every step of the way along the way. All right. So one of the last things I just want to tie into here is that, as we set out toward achieving your goals for the year, toward accomplishing your intentions for the year, things may come up. Thank you for the response there. Things may come up along the way. There may be things that thwart your intentions, things that create challenges along the way. In fact, I am having a personal experience of this right now with one of my health and wellness goals. I threw out my back again a couple days ago. This has been kind of an off and on thing for me, like generally about once or twice a year, I'll have back issues. And this came up again. And I had set some physical goals for myself of like how often to exercise and do yoga and how intensely to be out walking and getting heart rate up and things like that. And my back is out right now. And so I can't do it. And so it's not a matter of whether you're going to stick 100% to everything that you've set out to do. Very likely that is not going to happen, no matter how committed you are, no matter how intentional you are, no matter how high achieving you are. Things will happen along the way that suddenly things may feel like they're throwing you off track or kind of getting in the way of your ability to do what it is that you said you're setting out to do. And so This is where, again, I think being clear on what your ultimate intention is and who you want to be in the process to this, it really becomes a guidepost for you. Because, just as an example for me, it was really easy to be like, well, I'm not doing it anyway. Maybe I'll have some ice cream now today too. And it's not such a bad thing in the world to have ice cream. I'm not saying that. But a big question that I'm always asking myself, and I'm always encouraging you all to be asking, for you to ask yourself, is this moving me toward what I want or away from it? And believe me, I've had a number of times since this back issue, standing in front of the pantry or the refrigerator or the freezer, wanting some comfort food, thinking of reaching for something that might in the moment feel comforting, but in the longer term, in the longer game of things, I know that it's not moving me toward what I want. And it's actually very much moving me away from what I want if I were to do it. And so thus far, I've chosen not to do those things. I've chosen to stay on track, even though the way in which I was planning to stay on track is somewhat shifted at the moment. I can still stick to it. I can still stick to the intention and honor that intention, and still be the version of me that I know is most likely and most supported and most on track toward getting where it is that I ultimately want to end up. So I really invite you to look at that for yourself as well. As things come up, to always be checking in with, okay, I have a choice here right now. I can do certain things or not do certain things. Are those things going to be moving me toward what I want or away from what I want? And you always have the power to choose. Next week, I'm going to be back with how to design your environments to support you, so that it's not only you moving yourself down the path, but the path can actually help move you along as well. It's almost like a moving sidewalk idea of a pathway towards your goals. So be sure to join me or check that out next week. Next Wednesday, I'll be releasing that one, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.